So sorry for that interruption. There was a math emergency in the building. Okay, we're on our next example. The 2 points that are being highlighted for us are 1, 3 and 2, 6. Our change in y, some of you might be getting a little quicker at this. You want to know how far is it to get from 3 to 6. That's a difference of 3. Or you could be counting from one point to the other, which would be 1, 2, 3. The change from 1 to 2 is simply 1. Or if you were counting to get from here to here, I just have to make one little step. So my slope is 3 over 1, but we're going to simplify that to be just 3. Okay, now that we've done some practice with calculating the slope, turn your page. We are going to first review a little bit of what you did yesterday with Mrs. Trombley when you were dealing with a table. It says this table shows your earnings for babysitting. Notice in the x-axis or independent variable column we have the number of hours. In our y-axis column, our dependent variable, we have the number of dollars that you earned. We have, first, we're being asked to graph our data. Draw a line through the points. So you are going to need a straight edge or a ruler. Let's do that first. We can plot all of these points. Remember that when you graph an ordered pair, you want it to be in the form x, y. So we're going to plot the point 0, 0. Go ahead and graph that point. That's right there in the corner, right at your origin. For 2 hours of babysitting, you earn $10. So go to 2 along the hours axis and go up to 10 in the dollars. I think you can take it from there. 4 hours, $20. 6 hours, 30. 8, 40, 10, 50. All right, you are going to need a straight edge, and I am digging for a ruler myself. Go ahead and connect those lines. It's really important that you be neat. This is why pencil is important for you. Put a little line on the end there, a little arrow at the end of your line. Okay, here we have a graph that represents your earnings in dollars per hour for babysitting. Okay, look at what our step B is asking us to do. We're going to choose any 2 points to find the slope of the line. So pick any 2 points. Here's a little tip. Anytime one of your points is 0, 0, you should pick that one. And you could pick the very last point, the very next point. It doesn't matter. I'm going to pick the points 0, 0, and this point 2, 10. My change in y on my y-axis to get from 0, 0 to 2, 10, if I were counting, I would be counting up one line. It's very important, like Mrs. Trombley said yesterday, that you look at what your number scale is. Up one line means a change of 10. So my change in y is 10. My change in x, I'm going over 2 lines, but you'll notice that since our x-axis is counting by ones, that I'm going over 2. My change in x is 2. Now you, of course, wouldn't leave your fraction like this. 10 divided by 2 is 5. That's the slope of this line. But we picked the first 2 points. The next portion of this question is asking you to pick 2 other points to find the slope. And we want to know if the slope changes. Basically, if you work for 1 hour, is that different than working for 5 hours or 10 hours? Does anything change in this situation? So I'm going to pick 2 different points, any 2 points on the line. I'm going to pick the point 420, and we'll pick this one, 1050. Okay, so my change in y from 20 to 50, my change in y is 30. My change in x from 4 to 10 is 6. No. 30 divided by 6 is 5. Look at this question. Does the slope change? We must answer no. It does not. Go ahead and put an exclamation on that. We're very excited about that. No, it does not change. All right. This graph shows the earnings of you and your friend for babysitting. Notice still hours along the x-axis, dollars that you've earned along the y-axis. Little difficult to tell which is which, but I think this one's in your book, so I'm sure the two lines are color-coded, but you'll notice that this original line down here, this one's you, and this one's your friend. So if you need to plop that down on your notes, that's okay. Okay, you're being asked, question A, compare the steepness of the lines. What does the steepness mean in the problem? So basically, remember, steepness and slope mean the same thing. Which line would you consider to be cheaper? I'm sure you notice it's your friend's. Compare the steepness. My friend has a steeper line. What does this steepness mean in this particular problem? Well, if you look, compare these 2 points right here. For 4 hours of babysitting, you're earning $20. For 4 hours of babysitting, your friend is earning $28. In this particular case, the steepness of the line indicates that your friend is making more money per hour, which means she has a higher rate of pay. Okay, we already know that your slope for your line was 5, and in this particular case that means that you are earning $5 per hour. We want to figure out how much your friend is earning per hour. So we're going to take 2 points from her line, 428 and 856, and we're going to figure out how much she is earning per hour. So we're going to find the change in y. Let me zoom this in a little bit. Over the change in x, grab a calculator if you need one. We want to figure out how far is it from 28 to 56. I need some sort of sound effect or something. Figure out how far it is from 28 to 56. Pause if you need to. You're right, it's 28. How far is it from 4 to 8? Yep, it's 4. We wouldn't leave it like that. 28 divided by 4 is 7. So what does this particular slope of 7 mean in this particular case? It means that your friend is making $7 per hour. Thank you. I'll see you tomorrow.